antidote for fake news. It's Alex Jones.
Sometimes I feel the love we share seems to go.
The reason the globalists are attacking us is very simple. They want to use Infowars as a beta test, a model on how to bring someone else dare challenge the globalist agenda. But I'll tell you what's exciting. As fast as we grow, I see all these other new characters, new researchers, which is what they're incrementally trying to do. They want to turn the web into a glorified, basically Netflix meets Amazon. So there is that historic fight is suing me with a member of the Federal Reserve Board of New York who promotes bringing in refugees who under the yogurt system is the one promoting it. Now, is that defamation? Is that slander? Is that a lie? When they first threatened us with a lawsuit over he had done a sexual assault in that case a year ago, that they've now pled guilty. And if you want to write about Chobani, point out the owner is pushing with George Soros for the I engaged two of the groups. It's in the Wall Street Journal today. Chobani versus Alex Jones. And all the lawyers say, no, it's a very, very bad case. We don't understand. You already, refugees are connected to sexual assault. Just like the Stasi's been hired by Facebook. 2 years ago in Germany, to go after people that criticize Islamicists. You get arrested if you do. Just like Maria's threat to its existence since the Nazis invaded in 1939, 1940. Totally true statement. Massive riots every our religion, and now I sit here wanting to see these people vetted from 7 countries where they're not being vetted, like Syria and Sudan and Libya. And the lawsuit says Jones also claims Chobani that he's counseled with where they're not doing proper vetting, and that's been all over the news. The Border Patrol has exposed that. So where am I going with this? The cops have always Jones or will sue you. The message is don't criticize open borders or we'll come after you. That's globalism. And that's why they hate Trump, because Our country faces an exotic party and be an America-hating group of men and the globalists with giant third world waves of desperate people that the globalists put in those positions, in most cases, who are now besieging our once great republic. Now, I want to get to a bunch of clips, epidemiologists and virologists on genetic engineers. We've had them all. That what they're pushing on us is hurting us. And here's articles today out of Forbes, out of CNBC, out of Infowars.com, you name it. And I want to just go over a few of these for you. Why is diet soda so bad for your brain? In the 1970s, upwards of 27%, sometimes more, of the baby monkeys died when low levels of aspartame were added to their milk. Get it approved. Donald Rumsfeld, formerly at the Defense Department at the time, aspartame, known as Equal or NutraSweet in the brand names. You can read it from even the HuffPost, Donald Rumsfeld and the Strange History. I'm not a scientist. I've read literally hundreds of reports. I've had probably 100 guests on over the years about aspartame. It's very addictive. It's an excitotoxin. It's a form of speed. You fat, and I got a letter in the mail threatening from a law firm to sue me. I told them go ahead. They did sue a lot of folks. Today, even CNN admits that aspartame is diet soda make you fat. And it goes through all these big studies. Here's another one. Now, again, we told you 22 years ago, one of my first, I knew people that would go stand on the corners at the supermarkets, and the police would threaten to arrest them. I've done this myself. Handing out flyers, they would go lovingly warn people, because it's in children's foods, it's in all major gums. You cannot find gum at the supermarket. Very addicting. Silicon Valley elite are flocking to an extremely high-fat diet in hopes of living longer, showing it keeps your brain cells healthier and your other cells longer, as long as it's not a trans fat or as long as it have bioaccumulated heavy metals or toxins in it. And you eat that with raw green leafy vegetables, and that is the longest of the elite. And here it is in CNBC. 20 years after we told you. This is just today, without me even trying. This is why they hate us, folks. That the German elite and the British elite and the Chinese elite have their own real science. They always lie and say that I'm saying it isn't a real science. No, it's a real science. What they give us is a literal IQ reducer with steroids. Let's go further. John Rappaport, Zach Paxil, Zoloff, Lexapro, Luvox, and others all cause massive increases in strokes and the risk of MDMA, dude. The Germans invented it in the 20s in an accident in a chemical plant. You can look it up. By the 80s, it was called the love drugs. Psychologists were handing it out to everybody. It is the only known admitted treatment for take inhibitor. It's in the hallucinogen psychotropic class. What class is MDMA in? The same thing. It's just a lot stronger. I had a girlfriend in college that sometimes would take like a couple years. You take it for a decade. Everyone I know that's taken that stuff for more than a decade has either a skin disease where their skin's totally pale, or they get friends that have died of brain hemorrhages or brain tumors. And I talk to their families and they go, yeah, it was the Luvox. I have a really good friend who went on Paxil. Within 1 year, got the disease, Virilago, what's it called? Where you turn totally white, look like a increased risk of intracranial hemorrhage. Patients being treated with SSRIs had a 70% increase in risk of experiencing an intracranial hemorrhage. And that's just in their own study, looking at people over a year. You should go to emergency room right away or call 911. Yeah. The public has learned about the increased risk of suicide and violent behavior, including murder, stemming from the use of SSRI antidepressants. Now there's more. And then over time, it's worse. But it's that first month's the really bad time. It goes on, the Journal of Psychiatry says that you could kill you in the first 7 days. This is just a study on the first few months. 5-HTP, which is just a normal brain chemical, you buy at the store, like $20 a bottle, and I take Knockout, which has plants that has the plant compounds, lemon balm, chamomile, and other known things. And my lawyer, who wrote the Texas Family Codes, one of the top lawyers in Texas, has been on 4 different things, sleep studies, you name it. He said Knockout changed his life. He looks 10 years younger and literally gives your brain the chemicals that are being depleted and when they get depleted, you take these chemicals that still force the brain to carry out those functions, it'll start dragging other chemicals up. That's what the apothecaries for the old ancient doctors in every culture. That was one half of medicine, to grind the herbs, to drink them as a tea, to drink them as an oil. And all we've done is brought back all the best stuff that's out there, but I didn't mean to get into that. The point is, here we are telling you SSRIs eat hardcore. It's in the hallucinogen family. That's what psychotropics are. Okay, maybe you took acid 5 times because you're out of your mind, ladies and gentlemen. It's crazy. So here's just a few articles on that today. Look at this article on the Daily Mail. How the CIA tried to turn a cat into a cyborg because of the viruses that it's giving rise to and mutations. And the media all made fun of me and said I was crazy. And hundreds of newspapers, they said it didn't exist because they think you're stupid. We'll be right back. Vitamin formula available. Vitamin Mineral Fusion Drink Mix at InfoWarsLife.com is loaded with a full month supply of essential vitamins, minerals, and amino acids that your body absolutely needs. In the history of Infowars, this formula is the platinum standard of multivitamin mineral products. And this part is most important. The ingredients in Vitamin Mineral Fusion are either plant-derived or of the highest quality lab standard. That means it's clean. That means it's pure. And rest assured, you're funding the tip of the
speech at Berkeley. That didn't stop freedom-loving Americans from conducting a large First Amendment rally in its place. Prominent reports that the Berkeley police did their job in protecting the peace have come in, and apparently a total of 6 Antifa protesters were arrested, 2 for resisting arrest, 1 for a drug violation, and a protest remained peaceful, and dialogue between both sides was present. This is Millie Weaver reporting to you for Infowars.
election Pure Pro transforms water from virtually any fresh source into clean, healthy drinking water, pairing the unprecedented superfiltration power of an all-new gravity block core with a hybrid chromatic shell. It removes up to 99.999%. Simple to install. And now, as part of an exclusive limited time introductory offer, you can save $20 off the retail price and get free shipping. This is a limited time offer. So another ragtag band. The least I can do is get sued. The least I can do is get attacked. The least I can do is have the media perch on top of family custody hearing and partially take. I'm ready to take the globalist on. We're going to defeat him in the end. Far ahead of their time. It's behind me that they've got some other really shocking graphics that are in the CIA documents that go back to the 1980s, but were declassified special. They were trying to hire most of the top implant dentists in Texas that he knew to get double the pay, be like $500,000. It was $500,000 back then, to go work. And now you notice it's in the news. But believe me, this stuff's been in the field for a long time. Not just cats, but rats, birds, insects, and humans. A lot of military people volunteered into its skin so the feline could act as a covert recording device. Recently declassified documents show how the scientists responsible for the cruel research were praised by spy chiefs for their pioneering work. Yeah, the big stuff's nanotech inside. All public, but the general public hears it and just laughs at you. They don't know any of this is actually going on. They just go, oh, Alex Jones is crazy. Spider goats. 25 years after spider goats were declassified by the U.S. Army, part spider, part goat, to create spider body armor out of their milk, they were right. Resurfaced this week when WikiLeaks tweeted a link to a declassified CIA memo. The research was dubbed Project Acoustic Kitty, $13 million project over a 5-year development in the 1960s. Yeah, I'm going to. And he said, you know, no thanks. I don't think I'm going to be involved in that. So there you go. That was in the BBC 20 years ago. that it was going on a decade before. We're not in Kansas anymore. Briefly, we're about to sell out of it the next few days. Bone broth, turmeric, the caveman ultimate paleo ship an additional 10% off and 50% off Super Blue, our fluoride-free toothpaste, now back in stock, and you literally stick your thumb in the globalist eye by supporting the hardcore InfoWar. InfoWarsStore.com.
Visit GCNlive.com today.
Energize your body and mind with 2 great tasting and super high quality forms of vitamin B12. Proper vitamin and nutrient intake is essential to keep your body functioning at optimum levels. The reality is, it's hard to take in the proper forms of vitamin B12 into one explosive formula. Vitamin B12 supports healthy energy levels through red blood cell formation and aiding in the body's natural processes, but it also assists with many other functions of the body.
Alex Jones.
You know, this is a spiritual battle. It's like a movie. It's like The Matrix, where Agent Smith is everywhere and they can just activate through anybody he wants, and suddenly they become Agent Smith. I mean, I've got people literally. There's a spiritual battle happening on this planet. Marie Le Pen is up in the polls. She's neck and neck in many. Here's a John Bound report breaking it all down. Why is Infowars under such mega attack? Well, we know why. We're promoting nationalism, free market capitalism, local sovereign control, and comparing that to unelected globalism. Shut down the independent press that is criticizing the power structure. Then it begins to actually persecute and go after people claiming they're spies or involved in espionage. They admit in the news 3 months ago, congressional
and I think we'll be speaking a lot with Donald Trump and Alex Jones.
The nation and all of our freedoms hang by a thread, and the military apparatus of this country is about to be handed over to scum who are beholden to scum.
who realizes she is an angel and she wants to help me.
No! You've got to be sent for reprogramming. Hillary.
Reprogramming.
All right.
The stay behind networks, the deep state operatives, the shadow government that won't leave. Why are they coming after us? Look at Le Pen. Francis Le Pen on offensive with a vote despite losing in the first round. This is a big deal, ladies and gentlemen, and even if she loses, think of a nationalist, anti-globalist that close to winning. That's why they want to punish her. She's under self-immunity. But now they're trying to strip that immunity.
The fake job scandal involving France's far-right presidential candidate Marine Le Pen could amount to some 5 million euros. Front National Vice President Florian Philippot. Le Pen is alleged to have faked her parliamentary expenses to pay her bodyguard and assistant close to 340,000 euros. Earlier this month, French prosecutors
The word's gone out, lawsuits, attacks, whatever the
Although conservative commentator Ann Coulter backed out of showing up to her already canceled speech at Berkeley, that didn't stop freedom-loving Americans from conducting a large First Amendment rally in its place. Prominent reports that the Berkeley police did their job in protecting the peace have come in. 2 more arrests were made earlier in the day for possession of a knife and obstructing an officer and wearing a mask to evade police. Despite these arrests, the protest
highly tested body armor from InfoWarsStore.com. Defender body armor is certified to protect against all handgun rounds and even armor-piercing FN 5.7 pistol rounds. The secret to Defender body armor is its proprietary processing technology to manufacture their new line of advanced lightweight armor. It works. Defender body armor is made right here in America and has received the highest level ballistic resistance certification from an authorized NIJ ballistic laboratory. Defender body armor. Group, you developed Living Defense for us. It took you over a year to do it. Why is this so good?
Because people are actually waking up to the problem that pretty much scares me the most. I mean, I try to make sure that I don't put toxins spreading disease around. We have biological warfare going on everywhere. These are all parasites.
Tell us about all the stuff that said that there's so many things that are in it.
You have the neem in there. You have the organic clove.
Period. And you support the broadcast, InfoWarsLive.com. Thank you, Dr. Group from the Global Healing Center. Thank you so much for all your work, sir, on this great product. open the phones up, play a lot of Trump clips this hour, and talk about the Le Pen situation, get more into some video clips that are up on Infowars.com with Maxine Waters saying Trump's illegal immigration. And I guess it's supposed to say the three fingers mean white or like W. And then I guess power, an upside down P. Ladies and gentlemen, W. The W means W, and the H means Heil Hitler. White Hitler. No, I grew up with it in Jell-O commercials, and there was some type of coconut milk in a can. I remember there was like a black guy had a cool voice. When I was a little kid, he'd go, coconuts, coconuts from Jamaica. Too. So he did coconut milk ads, he did Almond Joy, and that's how I got it in my head. And then Jell-O had ads throughout. Whenever something's A-OK, I'm like, hey, did I bring the right shingles up or the right hammer? And he'd have nails in his mouth and he'd do A-OK. And it means in international sign language on Infowars.com, because then Mike Cernovich got week passes into the White House press corps, and he and another reporter went, hey, we got him. Up cutting your taxes. That clip's coming up next. He was in a speech today saying, we're going to cut them. We're going to get the economy going. In all corporate language, that means it's handled. And what I love about Trump's mannerisms is he waves his arms around like I do. I have in events, even at my grandfather's funeral, I gave a speech, and this Italian guy that was in his church came up and he goes, I loved your grandpa, but by the way, are you Italian? Because you wave your arms around, even hand signal. It's that hand signal. It's the thumb. It's pointing. They say don't point. People don't like it. Well, guess what? Trump points. They found it. They found the coconut guy. Was it for coconut milk? Milk or something, or Almond Joy, showing my memory, 7-Up, no gain, Jeffrey Holder, but I think he did add. I just remember him doing the hand signs. Does he do it in the ad like I remember? He just did it. Okay, I missed that. See? Boom. From 40 years ago. I was like 3 years old. Well, because I remember him. Because I remember the house we lived on and where the TV was. And I remember watching that ad on all the time, and I remember it. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. Here is Paul Joseph White, the Jewish mafia in New York, because they kept getting in trouble, Bugsy Siegel and people doing things. And so they set it up to then go after anybody that ever criticized Jewish mafia. And whenever I say that, it's all over the news that mafia, there's Japanese mafia, there's Chinese mafia, there's Taiwanese mafia, there's Laotian mafia, there's Mexican mafia, there's Brazilian mafia, there's Colombian mafia. You don't dislike Colombians when you say they got a really dangerous, mean mafia. They're just known to be dangerous too. Mainline history. To go after anybody that criticizes the Jewish mafia as anti-Semitic. And so then Nazi collaborators give them money, like George Soros, they give him awards. Oh, he's anti-Semitic, he says it's Jewish mafia. Well, yeah, the Jewish mafia protects Nazis like George Soros, yes. So I'm not against Jews, I'm for Jews. That's why I'm exposing it. But the media will never report that I'm exposing. And it's horrible to help round up Jews and send them to death camps like George Soros did. And if that's anti-Semitic, then I'm anti-Semitic because I don't support people that round up Jews and send them to death camps. But when I'm attacked in hundreds of newspapers tomorrow for saying that, George Soros for working with Hitler, helping round up Jews by the thousands, that's anti-Semitic. That's the ADL. What's that tell you about the ADL? Well, they've come out and said Mike Cernovich and the late, that's a white power symbol. That is the biggest load of baloney the earth has ever seen. It means A-OK. Is the black actor in the 7-Up commercial saying delicious, I guess, aspartame? In fact, if you do that symbol and then kiss your lips, in French and Italian cuisine, it means it's the best out there. I haven't done this in a while. I'm going to skip this break so we have more time with my beloved John Harmon up at GCN. So let's go ahead and go to the evil
Cernovich and Cassandra Fairbanks as white supremacists. The same independent that simultaneously writes hit pieces about me while begging for an interview. The article was based on a tweet by Fusion reporter Amanda. The ADL never said doing the OK symbol was a, quote, racist hand sign. They were talking about a completely different hand sign. You debunk themselves in their own article by pointing this out. I don't know which is more retarded. Calling Cernovich a white supremacist when he has a Persian wife and a mixed race baby. Pretty white supremacist. The OK sign had been co-opted by neo-Nazis. That's literally what 4chan said, and they fell for it. The fact that I even have to explain this to you morons makes me want to kill myself.
Nail.
Just like other politicians do this thumb to fist thing when they're making a point. Trump premises, you idiots. It's called a meme. Here's noted white supremacist Barack Obama doing the OK sign. This black Trump supporter does it too. Must be a white supremacist. Unfortunately for libtards, constantly smearing people as neo-Nazis because they're too thick to come up with an actual counter-argument is no longer an option. Fairbanks says she's suing the Independent and possibly the moron.
Good for you. And possibly the woman from Fusion, and maybe even Fusion.
Great.
For starting.
Yeah.
Listen, okay, sexualizing racism to such a ludicrous degree, you make actual racists and white supremacists look reasonable in comparison to your hysterical idiocy. You.
Yeah, I just knew it would be good. So I played it, tying it into all this. I'd seen all the mainstream news articles the last month saying the ADL said that the OK sign was, this is even too out of control for the ADL. And by the way, the ADL's gone after real racist, white supremacists, kill people, murder black groups. That's fine. Like calling Trump a racist in the news. I'm going to play that clip in a minute. Maxine Waters saying that he's racist and it's a code word and it's a dog whistle to say we've got to have a border. Does Mexico having a southern border limited unvetted people in? That's why when I fly into Cancun or Puerto Vallarta to see those beautiful beaches and the great Mexican culture and the great food and the great art, when I go down there to get laid back or fined at the airport, because Mexico's its own country. That's what countries do. Told you that 20 years ago from scientists and the documents. Now it's mainstream news. Daily Mail. How the CIA put microphones and systems in cyborg cats, now declassified, from the 1960s. What do you think they're doing now? Silicon Valley, high-fat diet, death, and intracranial hemorrhaging. That's on Infowars.com with links to all the major government news sites. Now, Since we mentioned it, here's the 7-Up quality soda. Here it is.
This is where they grow 7-Up. And from these, 7-Up gets its natural, light, refreshing taste. Crisp and clean and no caffeine. Never had it, never had that around here. Don't you feel good?
And of course, Coca-Cola. That was Jeffrey Holder. According to the media, another noted white supremacist, because he did the double sign. And look, I know, you know this is idiotic. You're probably sick of me talking about it. The reason I'm harping on it is to say you can't have Halloween parties at colleges. To say you can't have a dorm named how they attack culture. Now, I've got some Trump clips I want to get to, but I want to take your phone calls. Do you think Trump's selling us out in the first 102 days now? Or do you think he's done things that are amazing and unprecedented? What do you think about the North Koreans they're doing? I'll tell you about that at the start of the next segment. And much more. The toll-free number to join us, first-time callers, long-time callers, callers that agree, callers that disagree. All I ask is you have a good, clean phone line. We'd love to talk. As you know, it's our best seller of all time when it comes to the personal hygiene products. My dad is a retired, well, he's not retired yet, but about to be a retired dentist and oral surgeon. He went to the big, we have the children's that's basically sold out now, but more is coming in soon that doesn't have the peppermint, so it's not as strong. This is concentrated. There's the equivalent basically of 2 tubes in each one when it comes to the ingredients. Doesn't have the fillers, so that we can stand up against the globalists and their attacks to try to shut us down. And the good news is, being banned off Google Ads, being banned off AdRoll, being sued, being attacked, being demonized. We've got more audience, more listeners, and more funding. It's not substantively larger, but O'Reilly, you name it. Not that Bill did good things. I don't like Bill, and I don't endorse what Bill, did. I think Bill was a bully. He's bullied me. He's bullied others. Seen Beck start to sell out. He knows the writings on the wall. He believes he's joined with the elite. Of course, that destroyed him even faster. So, we're massive support in the face of this. Everybody needs fluoride-free, high-quality toothpaste. Everybody needs the new Paul Watson shirt. Women really love it because guys don't really want to wear a guy on, do they? I know I don't. It says conservatism's the new counter. Because they hate a good-looking person that's kind of the archetype of what trendies look like, 6'4", good-looking guy like Watson. He kind of looks like, somebody from one of those popular vampire movies in a good way. We've got to end the special today because I don't want to run out of the bone broth formula in the next 2 weeks before more comes in. Our sale's been too successful. It's turmeric, it's bone broth, it's chaga mushrooms, it's bee pollen, it's constant bone broth. Ultimate caveman paleo. Couple scoops of this. Mix it in with milk. It tastes so good. Put in some ice cubes in the blender. My children think it's Ovaltine. And it's an item. It's a lost leader when you sign up for auto ship. And it funds our operation. Caveman, 53% off. And we've got 33% off on the liver shield, but only for another day or two, Infowarsstore.com. One of the biggest secrets out there, the missing link of why our ancestors, whether you're in Africa, or ancient Albion, which is England today, why our ancestors of 10,000 years ago in England was stronger than Olympic athletes today. In the final equation, everyone knows what's going on. Every ancient culture was obsessed with what I'm about to reveal to you. Today we call it bone broth. And for thousands of Infowars Life products, caveman. We lost our vitality because we just ignored the ancient tradition. But you use the bones for strength. We are now introducing Caveman by InfoWarsLife.com, the ultimate in true paleo nutrition with bone broth, turmeric root, chaga mushroom, and 7 total primal superfoods. And this is the engine of the life essence. I've made a lot of important points here, but this is the one you need to research for. Collagen is essential to aid healthy tendons, ligaments, and muscle tissue. This is an absolute win-win. You get an amazing product produced right here in America. You support our bodies. These amazing compounds that God created starts at InfoWarsLife.com. 3 years in the making, incredible research, and the very best ingredient. Caveman formula today.
The Alex Jones Show. Because there is a war.
Even your emotions have an echo
and so much space.
Does that make me crazy?
Does that make me crazy?
We're going to your phone calls. James, Ron, Skit, Beto, Jessica, postponed after monster snowstorm. I saw a very powerful film, The Promise, this weekend about the Armenian genocide that I want to do a proper review of the next few days. But I also saw the ad, and I'm going to do a review today. I'm going to shoot a review in HD at the end of the broadcast that we will premiere tomorrow on the show. Because everything they say in the... But it just bills Al Gore as the savior of the world. And of course, pay him carbon taxes, he'll save you. While they ignore all the real threats, the GMO, the shake-up of the planet. Yeah, human-animal chimeras are gestating on U.S. research farms. Will you guys print me that again? Because when I cut this piece today about Al Gore, that ties me, and NBC laughed at me, and they all giggled and said, he's crazy. He thinks they're crossing humans with animals. And then one writer said, oh, insect, and it's crossing the genetic line of diseases that previously only insects got, humans wouldn't get. Or the pig could get something, we couldn't get it. It's called zoological, other than human. Everyone I know in Austin, everyone can barely breathe now. Who have their heads spinning right now. Who have, what's the scientific term of it? I'm having one of those brain. Leave Austin because the pollen is so bad they're getting year-round vertigo. And I mean, these aren't hypochondriacs. These are people that run marathons. These are people that are high-powered lawyers. These are people that are super smart, and people are leaving this 30, 40 years ago. It's the GMO is triggering autoimmune responses where now the natural environment is killing us. It's like that movie, The Happening, where the trees start killing everybody. Used to be a month out of the year, then 2 months. Now, I've been dealing with allergies for 6 months, and if I wasn't drinking more water and taking X2 and things, it'd be even worse. I gotta go. My son's in super good shape, exercises all the time, tall folks. It isn't normal. You look at people and they look sick. They look weirded out everywhere. They look like zombies. You hear the conversations. It's super dumbed down. And it's just getting worse and worse. I talk to people all over New York, Kentucky, Tennessee, California, and Kauai. And they're very controlled there through the government of Australia and the state government of Hawaii. They won't let any other new plants in, no new years. They can program crops like corn to produce live vaccines, chemicals, anything they want. Plants are magic. You can program them to grow basically anything you want. Before, but they've spliced the corn with so many other genetics of plants and animals and other insects that it's now jumping species into other in the flora, and is now jumping within the flora family into other plants. And it's getting exponentially. See the result? It's killing everything. The plants are dying. The insects are dying. The birds are dying. You go to big forests all over the U.S. now. They're like quiet. I talk to them 10 times or more on average in places like California in the soil, and people don't know why. They're spraying it out of the jet fuel. It's added to the jet fuel. It's been declassified. Geoengineering of planet Earth. NASA, geoengineering of planet Earth. Energy Department sprays barium salts, aluminum dioxide, patents. You'll read patents, you'll read UN reports, and you'll read the Energy Department saying a year it was so-called condensation trails, even during the summer at low altitude. Now, have you noticed suddenly since Trump got in that chemtrails are down like 90%? In fact, I haven't been seeing any of them. When they add barium salt, aluminum dioxide, or other radioactive isotopes, it creates RLA because they're demonizing the AOK scientist, white power. They're demonizing all language as evil. Now we have Maxine Waters saying Trump's illegal immigration comments are racist and a dog whistle. Lady, the one pushing racing bats. Retire already, lady. But you didn't know where Russia was on a map 50 years ago, did you, Pelosi? Did you, Waters? You're a bunch of rich ladies put in there by the elites because you'll do whatever you're told.
Year after year, you pleaded for Washington to enforce our laws. As illegal immigration surged, refugees flooded in and laughed the wall. Don't worry about it.
Your response, Congresswoman.
That is absolutely racist. That's that dog whistling. That's saying to people, this is what his constituency and those people who tend to want to believe that. It is absolutely divisive. No leader, no president should be saying and doing the kinds of things that he's doing just to keep
At a 53% or 43% drop in illegals coming in just in the last few months since President Trump got in. She's the one race baiting. But I love how the reporter caught him saying something amazing, that our country could actually have a border. That's the disgusting nature of this brainwashing. But since we're playing Trump clips, let's go to one more of these.
There's another big gathering taking place tonight in Washington, D.C. Did you hear about it?
Everybody's so sick of Hollywood. Being a celebrity sucks.
Washington media
are laughing now.
They are gathered together for the White House Correspondents' Dinner without the president. Possibly be more thrilled than to be more than 100 miles away from Washington swamp.
Exactly. Who wants to be part of these elites as if they're the controllers of culture? They're losing control. They can't stand it. That's why they want to destroy me, you, Trump, everybody. Trump's far from perfect. He's being pushed into confrontation with Russia, Syria, North Korea's belligerent. That's a problem. But he's got to stand up to North Korea. Build that wall. Which, by the way, they got a lot of Mexican contractors and U.S. contractors wanting to build it. I say enemies of the American people. And then Gergen says, oh, he's so hateful, the most divisive.
And they're wishing in Washington. They're watching right now. They're watching.
That's right. Most people that work the system
But next year,
hate it.
maybe we'll make it more exciting for them in Washington and we'll show up. But we have a good chance of showing up here again next.
Attacking you. The MSM's calling you all these names. The MSM is doing nothing but trying to destroy you and your family. Plus fake all day. All right, let's go to James in California. We'll go to Ron, Skits, Beto, Jessica, and others. James, thanks for holding her on the air.
Oh, hello, Alex. Growing up, my family always warned me about the dangers of it, saying how it would, like, give you cancer, give you all those tumors like you were mentioning. And I don't think, like, a lot of the people really understand.
Look, it's not like I just guessed 22 years ago exposing it. People were exposing it when it was made legal back in 1981. Since day one, they couldn't get it approved in the 70s. People been fighting this since the 70s when it was invented. They had developed a type of bacteria that's very addictive. So it's like a science fiction movie, a sweet-tasting poison from a GMO bacteria that they put in everything now. I'm going to come back and let you finish up, James, because I went to that. Brain tumors kills you, just like Prozac. Thank you, James. We'll come right back to you. Stay with us.
Although conservative commentator and culture backed out Gavin McInnes, Lauren Southern, Based Stickman, Baked Alaska, Brittany Pettibone, and Faith Goldie showed up to support free speech and gave speeches. Reports that the Berkeley police did their job in protecting an officer and wearing a mask to evade police. Despite these arrests, the protests remained peaceful and dialogue between both sides was present. This is Millie Weaver reporting to you for Infowars.com.
The body in cleansing chemicals and toxic metals. Using our proprietary multi-step extraction technology, Deep Cleanse, our most affordable all-in-one cleanser. With concentrated organic compounds products, we use decades-old scientific research to put together the Rolls-Royce of all-in-one cleansing. Look, there's a reason Deep Cleanse is the only product on the market that uses our proprietary Spigerex herbal processing.com or call 888-253-3139. The reason Infowars Live has 5-star ratings on major third-party sites is because I want products I'm going to use for my family. I take this. My family takes this. And then it...
Noticeable difference. I don't feel good. The nascent iodine iodine is one of the ones that was life-changing for me.
Yeah, I actually have just run out of my super female. I had a few bottles at my house, and I've been taking it again, hitting the gym once.
Is essential. Survival Shield X2. If there's one product that I would say is life-changing that I would suggest, it's nascent iodine Survival Shield X2. It's got a 5. Look at your young men fighting. Look at your...
Roger Stone just called. He's got really big breaking news at the bottom of the next hour. We're going to go to your phone call. Setting their whole system. Dr. Corsi is getting intel from the White House daily, posting articles that get no attention because they're so powerful, where Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac got looted by Republican senators, and Treasury Secretary confirms Infowars.com reporting on Obamacare looting scheme theft. Well, yeah, how do you think they confirm? Because the White House points this out to us. We go get the documents. Of course, he has a degree from Harvard in banking and finance. He's worked at the state. It's scaring the hell out of the system that we've got these whistleblowers on. And that we can magnify what Cernovich is saying and what Paul understands. We have Liver Shield that is a known concentrate of herbs and compounds that help open up the liver and get the toxins out that have been built up in it. Go find out about Liver Shield yourself. You can take it with the oxy powder and do a gallbladder or liver cleanse. Consult your physician, though. This is really serious stuff. And 53% off Caveman ends today. It's got to end today. James, finishing up about aspartame. What is it like to hear your family warn of it decades ago and now seeing mainstream news admitting it gives you brain tumors? I've warned people thousands of times about Diet Coke and Diet Pepsi. If it's aspartame, they just laugh at me to the point I've quit.
Yeah, it's really hard to try to convince people of these things.
The great state of Vermont. Ron, you're on the air. Go ahead.
I don't know about the great state because we they called...
You were colonized by the liberals, but I tell you, he's certainly not an elitist. He's certainly not an elitist.
Right. What I wanted to say is 2 years ago you asked your audience, what would it take for you to get involved? And for me, it was when RFK's son was here, advocating, to not mandate vaccines, but
isn't it great that Trump put him on that to head up that commission?
I hope so, because
and you're a really articulate callers. Stay there. I'm going to these callers late up at breaks. I apologize. I'm going to start the third hour. Ron in Vermont, then Skitch, Beto, and Jessica. I'm going to go to all you before Pachinik, and then Roger Stone with breaking news. Third hour straight ahead. They're trying to censor.
Although conservative commentator Ann Coulter backed out of showing up to her already canceled speech, Pettibone and resisting the protest remained peaceful.
It's Alex Jones. Again, you're listening to the Alex Jones Show.
Let's go ahead and talk to Ron in Vermont, making some sterilants and vaccines. I know they've been given vaccine liability protection starting in the 80s. I know we've gone from 1 in 30-something thousand with autism 30 years ago. Autoimmune results, they know when they give preemies vaccines, they get them ready to put them on ventilation. When they die, they have to bring them back to life. I've had nurses on. They know. And California's passed laws to start vaccine because you're endangering others. Brother, if you've taken your vaccine for anthrax or whatever, that doesn't protect you, by the way, and all, Ron, go ahead.
Alex, you know, it's just like when you're in an airplane, you know, you can't help the person next to you until you put the mask on you. Because when you maim one person, you're really taking down the whole family. And it's really disgusting, and I hate it. Healthier. Our minds will be clear, and we will be able to attack, you know, the problems. I went to a doctor who he was the head Western medicine was trying to feed us.
Well, they admit most of it is deficiencies, and I've had medical doctors on about that. If you don't have vitamin C across the Western world because of malabsorption in the gut, because of people's bad diets, and they just don't know that something like leafy vegetables would make their life so much better?
I want to see nutraceuticals paid for by insurance companies.
Yes.
It is absolutely huge. It is the biggest thing that we could do, because into people intravenously for
glutathione, vitamin C, absolutely. It's revolutionizing so much. Ron, you're an amazing caller. Thank you so much for calling. Had them, whether it was the apothecaries of the Middle East, or whether it was the apothecaries of the Armenians, or whether it was the apothecaries of Western Europe, or the apothecaries of China. You go look at the ancient, buy your insurance, shows you having a nutritionist. So the caller is absolutely right. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
If you, in this nation that's been so abusive to women, Bill Clinton was abusive to women. Hillary Clinton attacked those same women.
There is an information warfare happening right now. It's a fight for our money. Take action! Dr. Group, you developed Living Defense for us. It took you over a year to do it. Why is this so good?
Because people, right now, we're dealing with massive parasites, which is anything that's harmful to your body that lives off a host mechanism. Right now, with all the refugees, organic clove bud, the organic wormwood, I recommend doing a parasite cleanse at least twice a year.
All right, well, I'm glad we've got some back in, because I'm going back on it today. It just came back in yesterday. Living Defense, InfoWarsLife.com. And folks, you can't lose. It's full of stuff that's great for your body, period.
Conservative commentator Ann Coulter backed out of showing up to her already canceled speech at Berkeley. That didn't stop freedom-loving Americans from conducting a large First Amendment rally in its place. Prominent reports that the Berkeley police did their job in protecting the peace have come in, and apparently a total of 6 Antifa protecting an officer and wearing a mask to evade police. Despite these arrests, the protest remained peaceful, and dialogue between both sides was present. This is Millie Weaver reporting to you for Infowars.com.
cars, attacking people, beating people up, and wearing shirts that show ISIS cutting Donald Trump's head off. Violent commie agitators set fire to police over in Europe. They're having more fires, more parts of the cities burned down, mainly Muslim. Just like we have women wearing hijabs. We have women wearing hijabs and saying it's part of working with Islam and demystifying it. So again, those stories are up on Infowars.com. It's like avant-garde, it's cutting edge, it's trendy, it's cool. Just like we've seen North Korea kill millions of its own people through starvation, Venezuela totally collapsing, Cuba a nightmare, New York and places they have restaurants about Mao and about Lenin, and the kids get tattoos of it. It's really sexy to talk about the Red Terror and all the death and all the destruction and all the evil. Also an ancient occult day, the left-hand path of the Jacobins. So we have May Day because of the French Revolution, not our people. And communism came out of the Jacobins. That's admitted history. But the average person doesn't know. They want disorder. They want death. They want destruction, but only to bring them to absolute power. They want regime change for destabilizing. 100 arrests after clash with police in Germany. Protesters decrying Texas sanctuary cities bill stage sit-in. Isn't that cute? Roger Stone with breaking news. I will get to Skits and Beto and Jessica. Just stay there. I'm going to get to all of you, and Dean and Isaac. So I want to hear what Jessica has to say on cops supporting Trump. I want to hear what Beto has to say on Trump's first has been compromised by communist China. And sure enough, it was in the New York Times last Friday that Jared Kushner's tied into that. Now, he's got some breaking factoids, books with, of course, Tom Clancy. He's also a medical doctor, psychiatrist, and military veteran. And that's Dr. Steve Pachenik. I just invited him on the show to see what's going on. I don't know the topics he's got. But I tell you, watching a bunch running from Venezuela to get out of there, I mean, where is this utopia on May Day? Vetted with the pedigree to speak about the wonders of communism on May Day?
Well, as you know, there are no wonders of communism. My former assignment under Nixon, Baker, and then under Bush, And we were successful in taking it down without any soldiers. The reason's very simple. It's not that I'm all that great or we were great in regime change. It was that Soviet countries which were making things that were not useful. The army was not very effective. The intelligence service could be bought off, so forth and so on. So communism, the notion of the left and the ideology, the Jacobean revolution was under Robespierre, did effectively bring in Napoleon. The Russian Revolution effectively brought in Stalin. Nothing to do with communism. Had to do with the voice of America and shifting us to the alternative right or whatever narrative we want to use.
New right.
New right. The point I'm trying to make issue. Then I saw that Fox News was in trouble and Riley was compromised. Then I saw that Bannon was compromised. Now I see that Gork is compromised. So basically what we have now, I terminated them.
That's right. First, they politically shut down your voice before they physically shut you down. And when you use the word compromised, I'm not backing down or giving up under this organized assault.
That's why because the Clintons could never do this. The left doesn't have that kind of intelligence. They don't have that kind of capability. But within the structure of McMaster, the National Security Council, and the fact that we're mobilized, it didn't matter to me. Basically, what it said is we're going to shut up the voices of the alternative right.
No, I've got it. Trump doesn't want, or his people don't want the weapons lying around that brought him to power. And so basically it's just been taken on. And now we see this gutting taking place, or this attempt to.
Well, the gutting, what I'm getting at is it's exactly right, Alex. You know this, I know this is the history of all revolutions.